Scott, we're going to wait on Commissioner Britton. We'll now call the Burke County Board of Commissioners pre-agenda meeting for Tuesday, April 4th, 2023, held here in the chambers at 3 p.m. to order. I'd like to welcome everybody. I would, at this time, do roll call, Madam Clerk. We have Commissioner Smith, Burns, Britton, myself, our county finance officer, our county attorney, and our county manager all in attendance. Commissioner Carswell has an excused absence. As we know, he had shoulder surgery last week and he's in recovery. So everybody keep him in your thoughts and prayers for his quick recovery. I would remind everyone to please silence your mobile devices. And as you come to the lectern up front, please activate the microphone before speaking. That'll be noted with the red light that will come on. And so, gentlemen, at this point, the agenda was sent out prior. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Burns. All those in favor signify with the uplifted hand. That is 4-0, Madam Clerk. This brings us to presentations. First being really a placeholder. This is for Pet of the Month by Animal Services, and this will be presented by Madam Clerk Kay Draw.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Kaylin couldn't be here today, so I'm filling in for her. This is your monthly request to feature a pet, a dog and a cat of the month. And while I have the podium, I thought you might be interested to know that we took in 91 cats, 95 dogs, 1 chicken, and 2 rats in the month of March. Cat intake is up 17%, dog intake up 47%, and sadly, owner reclamation is down 52%, and that's compared to this time last year.
And rat take was up 100%. That one's a new one to us. We're all looking at one another. So we did hear 2 rats, correct?
Yep, 2 rats.
Okay. Gentlemen,
Were those 2-legged or 4-legged?
Pardon?
Were those 2-legged or 4-legged?
4-legged.
any other questions, gentlemen? Comments? That's low-hanging fruit there. So.
My fingers just, but I'm not gonna.
Okay. Madam Clerk, thank you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, without objection, this item will remain on the agenda. Presentation number 2, proclamation declaring April 24th through 29th, 2023 as Spring Litter Week. This will be presented by our good friend Tanya Stevenson, President, Burke County Chamber of Commerce. And this is something we all get excited about because you started this last year,
Last year.
and it was a rousing success. I don't want to steal your thunder, but I'm excited to see it back again this year.
You just want to come join us for the celebratory dinner, don't you?
That was good. A lot of food, folks.
That was good. Now, Kay, I hate you made me, she went away. Kay, I hate you made me follow the rat story, but I'm here. Maybe we won't be picking up rats on the side of the street. Thank you, Honorable Chairman and Commissioners and Clerk and new County Manager. So excited to bring to you again that the Chamber went ready for our second annual litter sweep. We did it in the fall last year. Spring is when we'd like to continue to do it, and maybe even in the following years have 2 a year. But right now, we're doing the spring litter sweep. We have dates for April 24th through the 29th. Thank you, Mark, and his team members who are an integral part of the process of taking the bags. Last year, we had 13 teams collected 95 bags of trash. We've already got several teams signed up, and we've really just started pushing it, so we feel like it'll be much bigger and better this year. Unfortunately, we've got the trash on the side of the street, and we need to pick them up. So we need all kinds of groups to join us for this, Boy Scouts, youth groups, church groups, Girl Scouts, businesses, organizations. We need everybody to participate if they can. Commissioner boards can participate if you'd like. Love to have you as a team. We do at the Chamber, we will be providing the supplies like the vests, the trash pickup gloves, and bags. We did not realize how many kids we would have participate in the fall. So we had a lot of little girls that had little dresses on. So we have kids' vests this year. Had a lot of churches to participate that we needed kids' vests. So we have those this time. Again, we'll have a kickoff celebration, or we'll have a kickoff event and a celebration event, and we'll be giving away cash prizes to the top 3 winners, team winners, and those are $500, $250, and $100. And we are so excited that with our help from our friends at Republic Services, who are our partners again this year, we are going to be able to provide recycling as well. And that's something we're really important to us and trying to get that involved. So again, thank you for your support, and to Kay has been so helpful, and Mark and Brian and the whole crew. We just really appreciate your partnership with this.
Tanya, thank you. Gentlemen, questions, comments? We appreciate your efforts.
Mr. Chairman, if you would, I would almost ask that we put that down as an action item to bring some more attention to it when we go into our regular meeting.
I'm not against that, gentlemen. Yeah, that's,
I don't know, I'd just like to see us do something, whether it be a proclamation resolution or something that maybe we could work out between now and then, just to bring some more attention.
This is a proclamation.
Yeah.
gentlemen? Jeff?
Gentlemen,
Go.
what we did in the past was the following month or 2 months later, Tanya came back and gave a report, and we recognized the winners and presented them the
Okay.
top person
And
a
that
walking
was,
stick.
yeah, well, you're right, we did that last
Yeah.
year. So you okay with leaving it on presentations?
Yeah,
And we'll
if we're
do,
doing that, that's fine.
because, yeah, that, we had a big crowd here actually last year
Yeah.
for presentations, so.
We had a 3-way tie for second place. So the walking sticks that were promised to me ended up having to multiply a little bit. But we have put in measures this year so that we won't have ties, to try to figure that out.
We had one gentleman beat all the teams by himself, Gary. And so, if we get a team, gentlemen, we're gonna recruit Gary, I'm gonna tell you right now.
He's a good one to have.
He's a good one to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's an important thing that if people are willing to get out and do that, I think we need to give it as much exposure as possible. But if we're gonna do that later.
We will.
I'm fine.
Absolutely.
You guys have been gracious to be great partners with this, and Scott came and helped us to pass out the checks we have the big checks made, and then we actually give them real checks, but we have the checks, and Scott was a part of our presentation ceremony, and love to have you all, if you're available, to come.
Absolutely, it was a lot of fun. The food was really good too.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Any other questions, comments? If none, Tanya, thank you. I'll see you at the regular meeting.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys.
Gentlemen, without objection, this item will remain on the agenda. That brings us to item number 4, scheduled public hearings. First public hearing is BDI Building Reuse Grant for Project Piano and public hearing. This will be presented by Mr. Epley. Put you on the spot.
Mr. Chairman, I'll do my very best. There's a building reuse grant for Project Piano, which is an existing industry expansion. As customary, the county has to be the pass-through entity. In the past, the change is we've contracted with our council of government to administer that. The grant does have a grant match, but now that we are capable of managing the administration of the grant in-house, that gives us an indirect grant match of approximately $25,000 that our finance office will be managing. Really, there'll be a resolution at your meeting that the board can consider to authorize county staff to enter into that building reuse grant and have an indirect grant match of managing it in-house through the finance office. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions, comments, gentlemen? There being none, without objection, this item will remain on the agenda. That brings us to item number 2 under scheduled public hearings, community development zoning map amendment ZMA 2023-02 and public hearing presented by Alan Glines, our deputy county manager and planning director. Alan, how are you, sir?
Well, thank you. Chairman Molly, members of the board, and Mr. Buckler. There we go. Sorry about that. Thank you for having me. Mr. Buddy Fisher with Venture Capital LLC would like to rezone about 3 acres of a 30-acre tract located on up on 126 near Lake James. Property is located right here, right about Lake James, across from Harris Wisnet Trailhead. The property is currently zoned general business, and but the site, as pointed out here, will come off of Hawksbill Drive and is basically undeveloped in this area. So I think back in about 2004 or earlier, there was a thought that there would be commercial development happening up here. In fact, they sold this out parcel here to Morganton Federal Savings, and it was, it's never been developed so far. So we're hoping something will happen there, but if you look at the current zoning map, the next map, it is surrounded on the north and all by R1, which allows single-family residential, and that is actually what he's requesting, a change for that 2.92 acres to R1 to facilitate further lot sales and other things. He thinks that he can get about 4 lots out of there based on the area. The Blueprint Burke future land use planning and maps support that change, and this is under the lake overlay area, and so that's a fit. And the planning board did review this request, and they also recommended approval. So at the meeting in a few weeks, we'd have a public hearing for that, and I can answer any questions if you have any.
Gentlemen, you've had a chance to review the materials. Any questions or comments for Alan?
Thank you.
There being none, thank you, Alan. Gentlemen, without objection, this item will remain on the agenda. This moves us to consent agenda. And we'll mention our friend Alan Wood did just come in. Mr. Epley did a great job for your presentation, so you're good.
I apologize, gentlemen. I got caught and just got here quickly like that.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
My apologies.
So under consent agenda, gentlemen, resolution in support of the Innovation Campus project of the Industrial Commons. Y'all should be familiar with that project, and we are going to ask to pass a resolution in support of the Industrial Commons, supports the Industrial Commons Innovation Campus project and encourages the North Carolina General Assembly to support the project through an appropriation in the amount of $5 million. And so this is if y'all have had a chance to review that project, we know this could be a game changer for our community. So we want to we were asked to pass that resolution along with some municipalities to support that vision. Any questions or comments concerning that? Without objection, then, gentlemen, this item will remain on the consent agenda. All right, that brings us to item number 2, reappointments to CPC FPT, presented by Kay Drone. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This is a request to reappoint Sheriff Heinzman, Seat 1, Law Enforcement, Nicole Hudson, Seat 2, representing EMS, and Chris Jernigan, Seat 4, and at-large seat, to the Child Protection Child Fatality Prevention Team for 3-year terms ending April 30th, 2026.
Gentlemen, questions, comments for Kay? There being none, thank you, Kay. Gentlemen, without objection, this item will remain on the agenda. This will bring us to item number 3, proclamation declaring May 4th, 2023 as National Day of Prayer, and this will be presented by Brian Epley, our county manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Proclamation in your packet for consideration as part of the consent agenda, simply declaring May 4, 2023 as the National Day of Prayer. I think this is customary. It's something we do annually, so that proclamation will be available for consideration.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, questions, comments? There being none, without objection, this item will remain on the consent agenda. That'll bring us up to item number 4, project ordinance for Jonas Ridge Convenience Site. This will be presented by Mark Delahunt, General Services Director, who's been practicing with his clicking practice.
Yeah, in fact, I was so busy with developing my PowerPoint, I wasn't aware that I was on for this as well, so I'm going to wing this one. This is project ordinance for the Jonas Ridge Convenience Site project, and it's, I guess, in an oversight, it should have been done when we originally approved the bidder. Would that be correct?
It's fine.
Okay, but we'll have that prepared for you to vote on in the next meeting. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, questions, comments? Without objection, this item will remain on the agenda then.
Thank you.
Mark, thank you, sir. Brings us to items number 5 and 6 from the Tax Department. Item number 5, Tax Collection Report for March 2023. This will be presented by Dawn Hutchins. Good afternoon.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good afternoon, members of the board. John couldn't be here today. He's actually doing some training, so you've stuck with me today. On our current year taxes, we're doing really good. We're at 97.56%. Of course, on our property tax, we're collected what we need to. On our delinquent taxes, we're at 84.16. We still have 110,855.93 to go. And then on our late list penalties, we're at 90% with 31,506.85. So we're doing pretty good.
Numbers look great. Gentlemen, questions, comments? There being none, without objection, this item will remain on the consent agenda. That'll bring us to item number 6, release refund report for March 2023. Dawn?
Okay. On the releases, the report amount was $12,038.50. We rebilled $2,255.99. They released $9,452.51, and there was no refunds and no VTS refunds over 100.
Gentlemen, questions, comments for Dawn? Great job. Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, without objection, this item will remain on the consent agenda. That brings us to bullet point number 6, items for decision. Item number 1, under items for decision, approval of Dogwood Trust Grant opioid planning grant. And this will be presented by our county manager, Mr. Epley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As discussed last month, the county has been awarded a $275,000 grant from the Dogwood Trust Endowment Foundation. At the time, we had recommended a continuance on that decision to approve receipt, barring the changing of some of the performance outcomes. Very thankful to have been successful in working through and with Danny Scalise, our Public Health Director, to get those outcomes changed, excuse me, to what we believe now is achievable and favorable, and we'll be recommending approval of that grant in the amount of $275,000 so that we can begin executing the purpose and mission of what was, I guess, originally foreseen some time ago with Dogwood Trust. So good news to report.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, questions, comments? Jeff?
Mr. Chairman, just one comment. In Exhibit A, I notice it seems like there's repetitive names mentioned under organization contact and grant contact. It seems like there's twice what needs to be there. Maybe I'm wrong, but perhaps you can take a look at that.
Yeah, we'll be glad to. Yes, sir.
Have you located that, Brian?
I'm looking.
It's an easy fix.
Easy fix?
Yeah.
And then we'll,
Page 52.
Okay.
Page 52 in our package. First page of Exhibit A, where it says organization contact, it lists.
Yeah, I see. I see. Thank you.
we'll get that fixed. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? And gentlemen, without objection, this item will remain on the agenda. That'll bring us to item number 2, General Services, Award of Construction Bids for the East Burke's Convenience Site, presented by Mark Delahunt, General Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. As you may be aware, we currently have out for bid the construction of a convenience site to replace one located in East Burke. The county manager has asked me to provide a bit of history along with this project and where we are now. As you can see, the first slide shows the current location, and the next one shows where we're headed. This slide shows the current East Burke site, which actually sits on 45 acres off Roadhouse Road. This property operated as a landfill from 1972 till 1972 to 1988. The East Burke site is one of our busiest, and we've long outgrown this facility. In August of 2021, 14.7 acres off of Highway 70 in Connolly Springs was purchased as part of a plan to build a replacement site. In addition to its location, this piece of property had several other features that made it a good acquisition. As I said, this property has 14.7 acres. There's 570 feet of road frontage, and only 120 feet of that will be used as part of this project. There's water and sewer already available. If you can see that little strip down on the end, let's see where it's got access to the ramp on exit 116. That's a 30-foot wide swatch that if ever we need to utilize that for access straight on the interstate. It is zoned industrial. Property includes 2 structures on it, a 200-foot by 100-foot building, along with a 100-foot and a 50-foot building alongside of it. If you see that blue line that shows up there, that's a security fence that we built around that. And as you can see, there's plenty of space still available for future county needs. This slide is on the property, shows a couple of, or a triple wide trailer that sits there that's going to be demolished as part of this project. And then this is the buildings that are, as mentioned, totaling 25,000 square feet. And if you look closely down in the corner there, you'll see our deputy director there trying to photobomb us. This is the inside of those buildings, and the structures on this property had actually become a problem for the community in that they were attracting a lot of criminal activity, including drug use. That is one of the reasons we put the fence around the two large buildings, and we currently store the Board of Elections 5 trailers, I believe you can see off to the side there, and some water sewer equipment and materials, along with some surplus county furniture. This is the overall site plan. It not only shows the convenience site, but it also shows what will one day possibly be the location of a water and sewer office, which, although not part of this project, it was taken into consideration as part of the entire site design. And that would be that building straight off the road there. This slide shows in better detail some of the features that are part of the new design. It will accommodate a drive-through visit, which we don't have now. Currently, if you visit the site, you got to pull in and maneuver around, get rid of your garbage, and pull out the same place you pulled in. It results in a lot of kind of traffic backups, I guess you'd say. And if you'll see the 3 compactors in the middle, the 2 on either side are MSW, household trash. The one in the middle is actually recycling. So the thinking here is that if you have recycling and household trash, you can travel down one of the middle lanes and get rid of both your items. If you only have household trash, you can go on the outsides of those compactors and just use that. It should keep traffic flowing pretty good through there. Then on the end, you'll see those boxes. That'll be glass, bulk items like C&D, and some other items. We got plenty of room down there for a swap box. It's my understanding that currently, sometimes when a box is pulled to the recycling place, they don't have any space to leave a swap box. So some of the people showing up with their recyclables are told they'll have to come back when the box comes back. And we won't have that problem here. In addition to that recycling compactor in the middle there, we actually got a $30,000 grant from NC Diener to go towards the install and purchase of that compactor. This site will have an 8 foot tall fence around it with a windscreen and plenty of outdoor lighting. I think this site, along with the current one under construction, Jonas Ridge, will be facilities that we can be very proud of and will serve as tangible proof that we are all about advancing. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Gentlemen, questions, comments?
Mark, roughly how far would this site be from the existing site?
I'd say maybe 3 miles if I had to guess.
Would that be 3 miles deeper into the county?
Yes, and I believe I know where you're going with that, because we end up with a lot of Caldwell County trash at the East Burke site because of our close proximity to the county line. And I believe we're maybe cheaper than they are. So, yeah, this should eliminate some of that.
Well, at Catawba as well.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Catawba, I had the pleasure of helping my daughters with some trash down there, and you better have your cash on hand when you arrive down there.
Is that right?
I'm sure that's what helps drive folks to our site. So.
And our site attendants do the best they can to police that.
The mark on the, it goes without saying, we are going to have bathrooms at these new sites.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's,
I didn't mention that. But,
our ongoing battle with bathrooms at the existing sites, so I want to stay the art. Number 2, and I shared this with our county manager, I know we keep improving the signage, but now that we're really upping our game with these convenience sites, I mean, we really need to look at stepping it up. If there's probably some type of grant we can get, I would assume.
As a matter of fact, the recycling grant that we got requires us to spend about $2,000 on signage, and the organization we received the grant from will actually help us with that, and they have some templates and clip arts and this, that, and the other that we're going to utilize, and we'll have some really good signage there. Signage we put there will duplicate at the other locations.
Perfect. Jim, questions, comments?
What kind of environmental safety concerns, do they incorporate that into this when you have to? I'm sure they do everything else. By that I mean like drainage. When I go to the convenience site that I visit, it looks like a lot of stuff pouring out of that. Some of it even looks like motor oil people inadvertently or on purpose put in there, and it looks to me like it just drains off down into my neighbor's creek.
Well, this will have a special waste area for things like motor oil, and it will include a drip pan, so you shouldn't find anything leaking out. The compactors themselves, they actually create something called leachate. When it's compacted, it's more or less, for lack of a better word, garbage juice. And there'll be a drain underneath each compactor that feeds into the sewer. So it will not, it'll be environmentally friendly as well.
Mark, what are your thoughts on the existing structure that we're keeping there? I know that future expansion might look like the water office going there, but I mean, are we going to use that to store equipment in the short term, or?
It's so big, we really haven't come up with a need for it yet. One problem is, although we have a fence around it, there's no electricity out there, no lighting, no anything. And I'm afraid they're, had a couple times they're clipping our fence and getting in there and hanging out in our building. But we make sure we don't store anything over there yet that anybody could carry away, but.
That's what I was kind of wondering, is the use of that contingent on having the office there, or?
The use of the large building?
Yeah.
Actually, I think all water sewer is going to need is the little one off to the side that's actually 50 by 100. I think that 200 by 100 could be, the county board of commissioners could be very creative in what they might decide to do with that.
Okay, thank you.
Make it a gymnasium. I mean, you know,
Excuse me?
make it a gymnasium. I think Danny would like that. We'll have our own court.
Yeah.
You know, you got high ceilings. What is it, clearance, 30 feet?
Yeah.
And so, you know,
We
just
get that
food
helicopter
for
for
thought.
the health department.
Absolutely.
Indoor basketball, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Trey would
Yeah.
love that.
Go back to the interior, it's quite large.
May have to shuffle around those steel I-beams there, but still, you know, post them up. Gentlemen, any other questions or comments? All right, sir.
I'll come before you next week, or I'm sorry, next meeting. Hopefully we'll have a competitive bid for you to approve. Thank you.
Mark, thanks for your work, buddy. Thank you. Gentlemen, without objection, this item will remain on the agenda. That brings us up to reports. Gentlemen, I would remind everyone to please turn in your committee reports minutes to Madam Clerk for inclusion in the agenda packet. I'll remind everyone to please spay or neuter your cat and dog, and please adopt a pet from Animal Services. And as we were just talking about, please pick up trash and cover your loads at the landfill and to our convenience sites. So be cognizant of that fact. We're building nice facilities. We want to make sure they're fully utilized and we get rid of the trash problem that we currently have. I would remind everyone, I don't know who is going to be attending tomorrow night's Western Piedmont Council of Governments annual meeting, but that is 6 p.m. the Hickory Metro. So if you can make it, great. I would also remind you, I'm helping host as representative of District 13, and then my co-host down in District 15. NCACC districts combined annual meeting. This will be April 20th at 5:30. I've not been here, but the Tryon Equestrian Center I've heard great things about. So that's in Mill Spring, North Carolina. So if you're interested in going, let us know. We can probably caravan it down there, because I'm going to guess that's, Mr. Epley, maybe an hour from here?
Yeah, I said an hour, hour 15.
Okay. And so I think it's worth seeing. So, and it'll be a great meeting. So hopefully everyone can attend that. Gentlemen, any other questions, comments, anything that needs to come before the board? We got through this agenda pretty quickly.
Nothing that needs to come before the board, but I do want to go back and when I made my comments earlier, I saw all the confused look on all the faces around the room. I had turned the page and glanced down and saw consent. That's why I was, so, forgive me.
You're looking ahead. That's good. That's visionary. So, no, you're good. You're good. Anything else, gentlemen?
I'd like to go ahead and bring up on the tours we did last Friday, and every one that I've been on since I've got here that Kay has set up for us. I'm very impressed with the quality of people we have working for this county. Very knowledgeable. The tours I went on were extremely informative, and I just want to thank all of you that have participated in that. I appreciate you and your staffs that work for you. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith. Well said. Gentlemen, anything else? There being none, I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I brought us in, I'll take us out.
All
I'll make a
right.
motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Commissioner Burns. All those in favor signify with uplifted hand. 4-0, Madam Clerk.